Hey, this is Kevin Kelly, the voice of Ring of Honor Wrestling, and you are listening to 3 Count Thursday. You got it? 3 Count Thursday. Make it happen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of 3 Count Thursday, November the 12th, 2015, NGSCSports.com, where we never stop. Remember, you can find all the shows on NGSCSports.com, and all the written content is there as well. Go to Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and the TuneIn Radio app and search NGSC. You can find our show directly by going to NGSCSports.com/3 count Thursday. You can podcast our show directly by searching 3 Count Thursday in your podcast store, and you can follow all of our social media. Facebook.com/3 Count Thursday. Twitter and Instagram is at 3 Count Thursday. You can also email the show 3countthursday@gmail.com. And when we talk about our social media and the email and all of that, it is always the number 3, never the word 3. On 3 Count Thursday. I am Big Jim. Let's bring on our co-host, Ryan. Ryan, how you doing, buddy?
Jim, I am great. Thank you. Again, awkward to be recording, and kudos to us. We did it in one shot.
Yeah, I didn't screw up the intro.
That's a first.
For those that don't know, we usually go live. We had horrendous technical problems tonight, which is an underlying theme here with
we've upgraded the equipment. We've got brand new equipment.
Yes.
Learning the ins and outs. It's not a big deal. Let's just go down to the sushi bar and have a good time.
Yeah. So got some new equipment. So a lot of times when we have to record, if we have any problems and have to record, I find a way to screw up the intro at least 4 to 5 times. But God's honest truth, didn't screw it up.
This is the first time, yeah.
This is the first one. Ryan, an exciting week for us. Something to announce here before we really get into it.
I'm pregnant.
You're pregnant?
Nope, that was not the announcement.
That was not the announcement.
That was not the announcement.
Are you pregnant?
No, I'm not. I'm just fat.
You're just fat. Yeah, I'm just fat too. We are, our partnership ended with Wrestling Informant 247.com. Gary and the guys decided to shift gears of how they're running the operation over there. Again, we thank them for the time that we were a part of them. But we're going to soon be starting a similar partnership with Outside Interference Radio. They're kind of doing the same thing, an online radio station, podcast, on demand. So they're going to be running our show. More details to come later. Got to hammer out some of the details with legal man Mark Charles. But very exciting stuff to be a part of the Outside Interference team.
Yeah, very exciting. I'm glad to be part of it. And Chase, if you listen to this, we figure your head might explode. Being a fan of both of our podcasts, coming at you all at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen to Chase. So Chase, if this is the first you're hearing this announcement, I hope you're sitting down when we announced that. So, really, really awesome opportunity for us. Glad to be on board with them. As the 3 Count Thursday engine just keeps on ticking away.
Yeah, it's crazy how much it has been taken off, and really, I think this is kind of only the beginning. We think here we are in early November, almost mid-November now, but. You go back to
just
March.
Call it 2016.
So how many months ago is that? March, April, May, June, July,
9.
August, September, October, November. It's 8-9 months. 9 months ago, Ryan, we were sitting at a Friendly's in Lancaster, PA, Centerville,
Delicious
PA,
food, by the way.
with the then owner, Jason the Perfect Owner Smith of LCW, talking about an idea to have us begin working with LCW, hosting a pre-show. And that really opened up the door to all this stuff. You see us taking pictures with, wrestling legends every month and things like that. And that's where it started 9 months ago. So, this podcast and everything we've been doing has really morphed, and it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. So yeah, when we talk about like this ride has just begun and how exciting we are, we're excited to have everybody on board and joining with us and all of that. And we appreciate all the listens and all the follows and all the shares and all the page likes and all of that stuff. It's almost mind blowing to me how quickly this thing has taken off.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it started off as a podcast. It really started off as a segment on another podcast, morphed onto its own podcast. From that spawned our Instagram page at 3 Count Thursday, where Matt does the Woman of the Week. A really, really active Twitter and Facebook following. Podcasts, working with LCW, working relationship with Pro Wrestling Empire. The Mid-Penn Wrestling Alliance tie-in with all of that. It's just so much good happening right now. Not only for us, I don't want to keep that like we're tooting our own horn, but for the Central Pennsylvania wrestling scene, period. It's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan in this area. And if you're not in this area, we'd love for you to swing by, the Lancaster area if you get a chance. It's worth the road trip. Plenty of hotels, stay the night. And if you're really thinking about catching an LCW show, the one that's coming up here in November would be the one to check out.
Yeah, it's going to be a big show. Mick Foley's going to be there signing autographs, but that's before the show. He's only available before the show, so you have to get special tickets to get early entry for that. Who all is going to be there? Moose from Ring of Honor.
Moose. We got Carlito, former WWE superstar. We've got
Rikishi.
Rikishi.
It's also going to be the first ever reunion of the Head Shrinkers, which is Rikishi, Fatu, and Samu.
Right.
They're going to reunite, and Matt Cross from Lucha Underground.
Matt Cross.
Former, he was on one of the seasons of Tough Enough. It's
He
going to be
a Son of Havoc.
Huge month.
Just announced today we have the main event match will be Sean Carr, hybrid Sean Carr, taking on the German Hammer. Is that still what he goes by? Joseph von Schmidt.
Joseph von Schmidt, the LCW champion.
The LCW champion. Huge match. More matches I'm sure will be coming out. They cut a really good commercial, Jim. Did you see the commercial?
I did see the commercial. Great work. Go to facebook.com/Lancaster Championship Wrestling to see that, and that'll lead you to lcw-pro.com, which you can get tickets. You can see all the info. Buy a T-shirt there with the new LCW logo. Check that all out. This month's LCW show is going to be huge.
Jammed packed, man. So if you get a chance, now's the time. Excuse me, to make the trek to Lancaster to catch the show. I think we put the LCW commercial on our Facebook page as well. And if we didn't, we will.
I think I put that on there this morning when I saw it.
I'm sure we'll post it multiple times.
Facebook.com/3CountThursday. It's going to be awesome. And then right after that is the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
That's Black Saturday, if you will.
Black Saturday. If you're tired of your family, or your family needs something to do that doesn't involve shopping or gorging out on leftover turkey,
and that's the thing. There are so many shopping destinations in that area. There's 2 outlets. There's multiple big box stores down there. If your woman is not a wrestling fan, drop her off at a store, give her $100 and say, here, or $100. Who am I kidding? Just leave her the plastic card.
She might give you $50.
Right? You'll give her the wallet. She'll give you $50 back. Come up to the host and watch some wrestling with us. She'll be happier than anything.
Sure.
At the outlets, there's plenty of shopping to do.
Yeah, there's 2 huge outlets near there. The mall, Park City Mall, is not far from there.
Plenty of food. She can stuff her
it's going to be a great night of wrestling. Again, lcw-pro.com. We'll have more info. We'll break down more of the card. Next week, I guess we'll have to do that, or the week of Thanksgiving, we'll have no live show. We're not going to do a live podcast on Thanksgiving night. I think, Ryan, you and I are going to try to record something that week.
Yeah, perhaps.
Just to put it out there. That is also the week that you and I are heading down to New Jersey to record with the PBR Podcast. Check them out at PBR Pod on Twitter, PBRpodcast.com. That's gonna be fun. I don't know what date it will air, but if you on whatever format you use to subscribe to podcasts, find PBR Podcast, subscribe to them, then you won't miss ours and you won't miss all the great ones. They have a new episode comes out every Monday morning. So that's going to be very fun. And then we turn right around after LCW in November. The following weekend is the Mid-Penn Wrestling Alliance, the first Hall of Fame induction.
Yes.
Bill Apter is going to be there. Nikita Koloff is going to be there. Lex Luger is going to be there. Go to Mid-Penn Wrestling Alliance on Facebook. I think it is midpennwrestlingalliance.com. Check out all the inductees. Check out it's going to be a great night. You're going to have some of the biggest names, some of the bigger names in professional wrestling. You're going to have your first ever Mid-Penn Wrestling Alliance Hall of Fame induction ceremony with some of the greatest guys that have graced the ring here in central Pennsylvania. You're going to get a great dinner, and then after, there's this is all the Lancaster host. There's actually going to be a wrestling show after the Hall of Fame induction. So go to midpennwrestlingalliance.com, Mid-Penn Wrestling Alliance on Facebook. Check out all the information. Get your tickets now. There's unlimited tickets available, guys. So get your tickets now. It is Saturday, December the 5th. Make sure that you are there.
That's correct, Jim. Tickets $65. Like you said, limited availability. They're going quick, folks. You definitely want to be a part of this.
Yeah, it's going to be a once. I mean, not once in a lifetime, but the first ever. We've had the opportunity to be a part of a lot of first-time things. We were at the first Legacy show. You and Matt were at the first PWE show this past weekend. This is a chance for you. If you've heard us talk about it, go, what's it like to be at something that is the first time ever? Well, now's your chance. Saturday, December 5th, $65. And it's going to be, what you're getting for that $65 could easily cost you 2 or 3 times that, because it is going to be that good of a night. Make sure you get there, midpennwrestlingalliance.com.
Right, they're ultimately we're celebrating indie wrestling is what we're doing at this dinner. We're talking Shatter, Rockin' Rebel, Jeff Gripley, Rob Noxious, Mark Mest. Who am I missing? Mark Eaton.
Mark Eaton.
Yep, legendary, long time.
Remember Stone Cold Steve Austin catching the beers?
They were thrown by Mark.
Eaton. He was the WWE timekeeper for years. He's been in the area. He lives in the area, loves the area. So it's going to be a spectacular night. Mid-Penn Wrestling Alliance Hall of Fame inductions, Saturday, December the 5th. And then, of course, the LCW event, Saturday, November the 28th. Absolutely a great couple of weeks coming up for us. But, Ryan, this past weekend, let's talk about it. Obviously, I don't have much to talk about.
Actually, before we get there,
sure.
With the issues we were having, we were going to have to reschedule Luscious Latasha. I do want to give her a shout out. She is our Woman of the Week over on the Instagram page at 3 Count Thursday. Make sure you check that out. Again, Matt does a really good job with that. He was coordinating, her being on the show with her appearance on the Instagram page. Like I said, with the new technology and everything like that, weren't able to have her. We're going to reschedule her at a later date, so keep tuned to our social media sites, her social media sites. We'll let you know when we get rescheduled with her then for that as well. Again, thank you, Matt, for hooking us up with that, and a great job again on the Instagram page.
Yeah, so like we just received new equipment today.
Literally today, right?
It's
Christmas Day here. At 3
yes, I came home from work and I spent hours trying to get things hooked up to get us to go live. I could not do that. was able to work enough to actually get us to record. So very very happy to be.
We think.
Well, I'm seeing audio on the screen in front of me.
Okay, so you're looking at the. Okay, well
I'm looking
at
the recording screen, and there is actually what appears to be audio going on to it. So
okay.
If this doesn't work, then you're not hearing us say this anyway. So
touche.
Ryan, this past weekend, November the 7th, Saturday, November the 7th, at the Yellow Breeches Sports Center in New Cumberland, PA, Pro Wrestling Empire launched Empire Rising, their first ever show. Over 500 fans were there for the first ever show. Ryan, that's impressive. There is certainly nights, and I'm not trying to dump on them, but we've seen the pictures. There's nights that TNA, who have been around for 12 years, 12 plus years, have been around. That they're running house shows, and can't fit. Don't even sell 100 tickets.
Well, now it sounds like you're dumping on them.
I mean, I'm not saying like how pathetic they are. I'm just saying that they are. I mean, it's fact. There are times that they don't have 100 people there, and Pro Wrestling Empire Saturday night had over 500 people at the Yellow Breeches Sports Center. The first ever match. He was our guest last week, Shane Strickland. We talked about him. How does he prepare to open a show? He said he loves it. He loves having a chance to go out and steal the show. And he went out there, Ryan. He defeated Kai Katana in the first ever match in the history of Pro Wrestling Empire. What'd you think of this one?
Great choice to start the show because it started the show quick. It started the show really hard hitting. It really captivated the audience, which, like you said, over 500 was a fantastic turnout. Matt and I were there representing 3 Count Thursday. I was surprised at how long the line was. I mean, it was great to see. Like, it's not a bad thing to see a long line of people coming into a wrestling show. My first show up at the Yellow Breeches Sports Center. It's where the UWE used to run. So maybe people were just excited to see wrestling back at Yellow Breeches. Pro Wrestling Empire did not disappoint by selling out that big of a crowd. A huge crowd. Jim, the crowd was hot all night. Man, I can't speak enough of the crowd that turned out. So congratulations to PWE on that. That's fantastic. And they did a really good job, like their tagline, bringing you the characters of the 80s, the attitude of the 90s, and the high-flying moves of the new millennium. This match was your high-flying moves of the new millennium. And Jim, you've seen Shane Strickland work before.
Oh,
We've said it numerous times. I don't think he is capable of putting on a bad match.
No, he's definitely one of the best. I don't like to single out and say this person is the best that we've ever seen because there's far too many. We've seen so many great workers in the past. I think we started with LCW in April, and in those 8 months. Even when we went to the ACW show back in March, so even in these 9 months that we've been going to these shows, and like we said, if you've never heard us talk about it, we've admitted that we were so late getting on the independent wrestling train. We're not going to sit here and say that we've been indie fans for the last 10 years of our lives and we've seen these guys develop from their first match to where they are today. We're not. We admit that we're late to the party, but we're playing catch up. We've been to a lot of these shows, and we love it. We absolutely love it. And again, we've said this before. We put it on our social media. If you don't know anywhere around you where the independent promotion, hit us up on our social media, Facebook.com/3CountThursday, at 3Count Thursday on Twitter. Let us know where you are located, and we will do our best to either find it or hit up some of our connections in the industry to find an independent promotion near where you live. Because
we'll do the work for you.
Yeah, you don't have to, because there's some that might say they're still active but they're not, or things like that. We will find a promotion for you to go to. So again, hit us up, but But yeah, Shane Strickland is one of the best, Ryan, that I have seen since we have been going to these shows. And, it sucks. I mean, I had an awesome experience. My wife and I went to see Jeffrey Ross. I was actually up on stage. He takes volunteers from the crowd to do a speed roast. And I was actually up on stage, got roasted by Jeff Ross. So it was worth, missing what seemed to be, and from all the reviews and from talking to you and talking to Matt and talking to Mark about it, sounded like it was a spectacular show. It was well worth it for me to miss it, though, the experience that I had. So we all had a great night on Saturday. But I can surely believe that Strickland once again went out there and just put on a spectacular performance.
Yeah, and you were right. I mean, I can't fault you for going to see the Roastmaster General himself, especially to get roasted yourself. So that is a fantastic thing. Strickland picked up the win with the swerve stomp, the double foot stomp. So solid match to open the show. Going into it, we were talking about it with Shane. They wanted to captivate the audience and start the show off with a bang. The match did that. Absolutely did that.
The second match was a traditional Survivor Series match, which saw and this is what I love when you get these Survivor Series matches, to see if you will have a sole survivor, and this match did. B.J. Walker, who was coming off a big performance at LCW last month, making it to the finals, the Friday Night Fights Championship tournament. He's been on a roll here in the Central PA area. He kind of got in the face of Vader, and it ended up not well for him on Saturday night at LCW. But he rebounds here. Was the sole survivor in the 10-man Survivor Series match, and Ryan, it's hard, just looking at this and seeing the result, it doesn't surprise me. The guy's been on a tear, and sky's the limit for B.J. Walker right now.
Sky is the limit for Walker right now. He is tearing it up really everywhere he goes. He is in the number one contenders match at LCW for the Friday Night Fights Championship, being the sole survivor here for Kevin Murphy's perfect team, if you will. It was Kevin Murphy. Boy, I'm going to test my brain here. Kevin Murphy, Stan Styles, B.J. Walker, T.J. Mathis, and it was supposed to be Malik Avalon, but he wasn't there. I forget who the other guy was. Cyrus Parker against the team of... Really, it was anchored by the Mercenary and Richie Nightmare. And God, I can't even think who the other guys were. Shoot. Slider was one of them. Man, and then that's about it.
Well, you remembered most, right?
I think I did good.
I'll give you credit there.
I think I did good there.
I think
I remembered most of them.
You remembered the majority of the people in that match.
The thing I'm going to take away from this match, and like you said, it was a Survivor Series match, so you had 10 bodies, 9 of which got eliminated, to leave you with the sole survivor of B.J. Walker, was the entrance of Richie Nightmare.
What about the entrance of Richie Nightmare?
Did I show you the video that I took? Fantastic little video.
Okay.
It was loud, crazy loud, ridiculous loud, probably too loud. And escorted by, I think, like 4 or 5 Harley Davidsons to the ring.
Okay, that would be loud.
Very loud. Inside an echoey sports complex. Engines revving loud. But really cool. Cut all the lights. He kind of came in from the side with the bikes following him. Pretty cool move. Pretty cool entrance. Other than that, like you said, keep an eye on B.J. Walker. That's for sure. Because the guy, like I said, LCW, Friday Night Fights champion, sole survivor here. Just what's going to be next for the Icon?
We will have to find out. We will have to find out. I don't know, man. Like I said, sky is the limit for him. Next match, Ryan saw Suicide Myers defeat Swift Kick Cannon.
two local rising stars battling out for a spot pretty much in PWE for their spot, for people to talk about them. I am not very, very familiar with Swift Kick Cannon. First time I've ever seen him wrestling. Suicide Myers, we've seen numerous places around here. Has wrestled LCW, I think in ACW as well, in Valor as well, I believe. So good to see kind of a local star there. But Suicide Myers picking up the win over Swift Kick Cannon.
Yeah, Laszlo Arpad, member of Hollywood's Finest, and we'll talk about Hollywood's Finest, Ryan, because Saturday night was a big night for them.
Saturday night was a big night for them.
You can fill in that information wherever. I know.
We'll get that near the end.
Okay, but Laszlo Arpad defeated Shane Malice. This you would say was probably a little more not for the faint of heart. I would guess. I would assume with the muscle of Hollywood's Finest. Yeah,
no, there wasn't a ton of finesse in this match. There was a few German suplexes, a couple really stiff punches. Shane Malice was offered a spot in Hollywood's Finest and turned his back. Laszlo did not take kindly to that and really took it out on Shane Malice in this match. Arpad pick up the win over Shane Malice in like I said, in what I would consider a rather rough match. Like, there's not much high flying going on in an Arpad Malice match.
Right.
So I bring it up all the time. You're a big Hungarian Hero fan.
He is my Hungarian hero.
Does.
He is my Hungarian hero. Love the Hollywood's Finest. Love, it's right up my alley. Always being a fan of heels, always being a fan, for Horseman, Evolution, like that. That was always my thing. It has a similar feel to it. It's not the same. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but it is definitely a similar feel to those factions. And yeah, I from the first time it was at that ACW show back in March that we saw Laszlo Arpad, and the minute he came out, I was like, "That's my guy." Like that. It took me 2 seconds because I realized he's a heel. He's a foreign heel. He's going to come out.
The part too.
Yeah.
You're a foreign heel, so you come out with Hungarian hero garb.
Yeah, the Hungarian flag. I mean,
his whole big like trench coaty thing is of Hungarian colors.
Yeah.
Big Hungarian hero over the chest.
Yep.
The guy. I mean, definitely does it right. Like, he lets you know if you've never seen a match with Laszlo Arpad, you go, yeah, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He sure is a bad guy.
Right. You know. Facade in the next match, Ryan. Facade defeated Jason Gorey. I've seen Facade many times. I've not seen Jason Gorey work. You know what? How was this match? I'm sure this was quite the contrast as opposed to the prior match.
It absolutely was. I think there was an intermission. I think right in between there as well. So coming back from intermission, these guys definitely picked it all right back up. Facade doing this crazy high-flying stuff. A very, very fast-paced match. Jason Gorey, he picked up the win over Jason Gorey and again really brought the crowd back from intermission as well. So really good job on those guys as well.
Very good. Heroes for Hire victorious over the Star Lords. Not Ryan. I'll be honest. I'm not familiar with either of these teams. So what did we see out of this match?
This is a match. I'm familiar with Heroes for Hire. The Star Lords, and excuse me, it's Jackson Conley and Jason Omega in the Star Lords. We've seen Jason Omega a lot in singles competition here at LCW. Heroes for Hire picking up the win. These guys are just a really, really good tag team. Great tag team work. Everything you want to see out of a tag team match. Quick tags, keeping your partners, in the proper corners, things like that. Heroes for Hire did a really, really good job. Great tag team match. Love tag team wrestling, so good to see a solid tag team match on the card.
The wrestler of the Millennium, Louis G. Rich, defeated, how do I say it, CM Serenyi? Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Okay. CM Serenyi, Louis G. Rich defeated him. We had Louis on this show a couple of weeks ago. The guy's been running through the scene here. He really has. He's really been making quite the name
it's
for himself.
It's funny when you said that. I picture him running around like the Ultimate Warrior, just running around and shaking.
Which, I mean,
he
he may do. I don't know. I mean, we've seen his LGR vines and his karaoke videos. I wouldn't put it past him to, go into a Home Depot and run around like the Ultimate Warrior. Maybe we should suggest that to him to see if he'll actually do it. But I always like seeing Louis G. Rich work, and to see him come out on top on this one, to see that, makes me happy.
Yeah, and honestly, here's the funny thing: like on the scene, these guys are both kind of heels. They're both bad guys. The fans really don't care, I don't think, for either of them. They're not cheering either of them. Louis G. Rich picking up the win. Like you said, we've seen him. He's a really funny guy. Portrays a great character in the ring. The guy fans just don't like him. I mean, he's too arrogant. The wrestler of the Millennium. He just, so he picking up the win. A pretty quick match from what I can remember. But picked up the win at the debut of PWE. So hopefully we see him again.
The first ever women's match, Ryan, of PWE's history, Tess Valentine defeating Samantha Starr via disqualification with interference from Roxanne Steele. Now, Roxanne Steele, if I'm correct, was very big in the UWE, correct? That worked out of the Yellow Breeches Sports Complex not too long ago. So was this that she was trying to reclaim her territory, reclaim her ring from the new women that were part of the PWE?
This is going to sound awful for you, but never have been to a PWE show.
UWE.
I'm sorry. Yes, UWE, the Ultimate Wrestling Experience. I've never been to one of those shows. I was lost.
I've
here.
never been to a PWE show.
You've never been, right. I was kind of lost here. So I know Roxanne Steele wrestled in UWE, so I'm assuming that has something to do with it. That it wasn't her in a match back in her home of the Yellow Breeches Sports Complex, in New Cumberland, things like that. So that was the tie-in. As a women's wrestling fan, and we talk about this week in and week out on the show, I hate the fact that this was the match that ended in a DQ.
Okay.
After the match, you had Tess Valentine and Samantha Starr simultaneously, like same side of the ring, side by side, slapping the hands of fans going back.
So the two women that just
were beating
were
each
just
other
wrestling,
up, but
were
got
united,
disqualified against with Roxanne Steele. United over the Roxanne Steele and became like friendly enough to slap hands on. You know what I mean? It's just I hate the fact that the interference happened. Ruined the whole match for me. And I understand you can do that, but when it's your first match, Roxanne Steele didn't really have a space I didn't like it.
So to you, Ryan,
as a fan, I didn't like the way this one played out. It was a solid match. Again, love women's wrestling. They deserve to have a spot on the card.
So the match was good.
The match was good.
You just didn't like the finish.
Bingo.
So to you, would you have rather have seen, Tess Valentine defeat Samantha Starr via pinfall or submission, and then have Roxanne Steele come out?
I guess that makes more sense.
I mean, if that was going to be,
here's the deal: if she's going to come out and squash both of them, then have a victor,
and then
come out, attack the victor,
okay,
and then beat down the loser more.
Okay,
Like, does that not give you the same end game?
Sure.
I mean, and again, I'm playing fantasy booker here,
right? I mean, that's. We do that.
I am just
we do
a fan.
that all the time anyway.
Not anybody important, just a fan with a podcast. If I'd have booked it, I would have booked it differently. And again, we're kind of breaking a little bit of kayfabe here. You know what I mean, with the predetermined outcome, all that jazz, trending lightly. I just would have done it differently. That's all.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. I mean, it
makes sense. What I'm saying makes sense.
Yeah,
it almost puts Roxanne Steele over more. Because she came out and squashed the victor, and then really played up the heel, and really beat down the loser of the match.
Sure. No.
Maybe with a submission. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah. What you're saying makes sense. I mean, you have one match on the card, and
it gives you the same end game. Roxanne Steele got the last word and affected.
Right. I mean, it does build for the future. I mean, you could make it a three-way match, things like that. So
it surely does.
It's like I said, it's hard for me to say because obviously I wasn't there. So
right.
But at least you said the match was good, and then that primarily you can. We do it with WWE. We do it with NXT. We, if we've ever watched TNA, I think that one time we, quabbled over that a little bit. Like, yeah, that's what we do on these podcasts. Is we, we evaluate the match and then sometimes we kind of play fantasy booker. So, I mean that's just kind of the gist of what we do. So before we talk about the main event, Ryan,
okay,
we have seen the Hollywood's Finest summer tour. They've been going around, and as we transition into fall, they've been talking about having a new member, and they're only getting started. And they're going to eliminate Shatter from LCW, and Shatter was there on Saturday night, and you had Scott Hall there on Saturday night, but they kept saying they're gonna add a new member. There's going to be a new member of Hollywood's Finest. They
Correct.
added a new member, Ryan, but it is one that I certainly did not expect, and I don't think probably a lot of people at the Yellow Breeches Sports Complex expected either.
You know what? Shame on me for not thinking outside the box here, because at the same time, Big Jim, we were told weeks ago Andy Weinberg is coming to PWE, and he's looking for a winner. That's right, folks. Andy Weinberg joining up with Hollywood's Finest. Jim, how much stronger does that make Hollywood's Finest with Andy Weinberg as the brains?
When you are adding a guy who is one of the best managers right
the guy's
now.
A winner.
Every person that he manages, their fortune, their career, their everything immediately gets better. And so you have a faction that is trying to, they're only getting started. This
never heard
is
that
a
before.
hell of a start. This
Only
is a hell of
getting
a start.
started. They ought to use that.
They do.
That's catchy. They should use that as his tagline.
They should.
They should.
They should.
I could hear Kevin Murphy saying it now.
I've never heard him say it before.
No, that's great. Would I recommend that?
But in all seriousness, adding Andy Weinberg, we've had him on the show before. The guy's great, and to join up with them, because they've had for a long time, they have had probably she's the richest woman in wrestling, Buku Bucks. But she is very pregnant. and she even said that she's still the best looking, and she's still the richest. But they have the in-ring figured out. Eddie Smooth and Kevin Murphy and Laszlo Arpad. But adding Andy Weinberg to that mix, to the brainchild of Hollywood's finest, I don't know that anybody can stop them, Ryan, going forward from here.
No, you're right. I mean, they've almost become untouchable.
Ooh.
I mean, just wow. Freaking wow. Like, I was watching it, and I'm thinking, wrestler-wise, when's Weinberg going to come out? And it never really happened. And I never, ever, ever, ever in a million years would have thought it would have happened when Eddie Smooth hit the ring for the main event. And then it happened, and it was just, oh my God, what an awesome moment that was. Really, really, really awesome moment.
For me, and the style of, the faction and the heel faction and the heel manager, when you guys sent me the picture of Andy Weinberg joining Hollywood's finest, I was in line to get a picture with Jeffrey Ross after the show. And, I audibly was like, yes. When
it was that cool.
I was so pumped to see that and to hear that. Even though I wasn't there to see that kind of made my night. It's going to be, and I know they're going to be at LCW, or I know Hollywood's finest is going to be at LCW. So, you would tend to assume that Andy Weinberg will be there with them. And, really, you got to stay tuned on this one. And if you don't know who these guys are, look them up, because this is a pretty special partnership. And now let's move into the main event, Ryan. Eddie Smooth, member of Hollywood's finest, taking on Sean Carr in Extreme Rules match. WWE Hall of Famer Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, the special enforcer for this match. Eddie Smooth comes out on top, delivering the photo finish, the best elbow in professional wrestling. Eddie Smooth comes out on top after delivering that move from the top of a ladder. Go through this match, Ryan. How brutal of a match was this?
I don't know, but somebody, it looked like, brought a wood pallet with them to the damn show and just handed out pieces of wood to the people waiting to come into the Yellow Breeches Sports Center, because there was lots and lots of palletized pieces of wood floating around. From the match beginning, brawling outside of the ring, throwing people into chairs, chair shots, wood across the back. Eddie Smooth's back was probably more red after the match
than me on Thanksgiving.
Than you on Thanksgiving, right? Welted, red, sore. And Eddie Smooth got some hellacious shots in on Sean Carr as well. Tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my! Put through a table. You had Eddie Smooth, like you said, coming off the top of a ladder, hitting the photo finish elbow to come out on top over Sean Carr in the main event of Pro Wrestling Empire's Empire Rising, capping off a fantastic night, a great card, very, very entertaining. It was great to meet Scott Hall. The guy was in great health. Really, really interacted with all the fans. Mark, shout out to Mark. Thank you for joining us, giving us a hand with everything we were going to go through. Actually chatted with Scott Hall a little bit about one of the events up in Hershey. I guess he cost $1 Million Man. No,
it was he cost Randy Savage, the WWE WWF at the time title. when you were telling me about Mark talking to him about it, I remember that show.
Was that a house show? Or was that a?
It was a taping.
Okay.
For
Superstars
or All American
something.
or
Okay.
something like that. Yeah, it was a taping, and this was I think this was, if I'm remembering correctly, now I was pretty young at the time, but Mr. Perfect, that was when Mr. Perfect was managing Flair, but then Razor Ramon, like it was his first appearance in WWF, and kind of interfered or interjected himself somehow, and distracted Savage, and Flair picked up the win. Yeah, it's a shame I missed Scott Hall too. It's a shame I missed this entire card. Ryan, overall, grade the
Coming
card.
back at you. 1 second.
Go ahead.
You also missed the special guest announced a few days before. Nikolai Volkov was also there.
Oh, yes.
Signing autograph, taking pictures. Having a great conversation with Mark. Apparently Mark has an in with all of the legends in the WWE. Turned around after right during the match, looked over. Mark was having a 15-minute conversation with Nikolai Volkov about anything and everything. I'd love to have him on the show, Mark, one day, just to go over what him and Nikolai Volkov were talking about, because it had to have been something
Did
fantastic.
somebody translate what he and Nikolai?
I have no clue. There was a time that Nikolai Volkov, I think, went to the restroom and Mark watched his table with all of his merch on it.
No kidding.
No clue what happened.
That's
no
awesome.
clue how Mark does it, but Mark has an in. There's a name we forgot to mention. Nikolai Volkov will be at LCW this month as well.
I think it'll be easier for us to name who won't be at LCW this
right.
month.
Maybe. Maybe.
But overall, Ryan, grade the show.
Man, I hate doing this. If you're going to twist my arm.
I'll twist your arm.
Just for the size of the crowd, and as well as everybody responded to it, I'm going to give it a B-.
Okay. Very good.
Some things, like I said, the women's match I didn't quite understand. I'd love to see Louis G. Rich maybe wrestle a little bit longer of a match. All in all, the Eddie Smooth Sean Carr match was a lot of fun to watch. But at the end of the day, and we've talked about this privately before we went on the air, I'd love to just see that match.
I'm sure it's going to happen. I'd
love for it to happen.
I don't know when.
I don't know what promotion around here is going to have it. But it's a match that needs to happen. But
I have a feeling that this isn't the last time we're going to see those two guys work together.
I hope not.
That's just my feeling.
I mean, and I get the Extreme Rules thing. Like, if you're not a huge fan of indie wrestling around here, maybe you don't know the names. But once you get into the indie wrestling scene in Lancaster County, central Pennsylvania, I should say, when you know the names of Eddie Smooth and Sean Carr, these guys are going to put on a hell of a show, and that should draw enough. You don't have to have a gimmick like an Extreme Rules match for these guys to come and tear the place down. Was it fun to seeing them brawl around and the tables and the ladder? Absolutely was. But technically, these guys are gifted. Let's watch a good wrestling match.
Sure. Ryan, any more thoughts from PWE? Otherwise, it's roll into Raw and go through. There's not a lot in the WWE world, to talk about this week, as it was their Euro Tour week, and we didn't have the, of course, last week the big news was Seth Rollins going down. But anything else from PWE?
No, just today, I guess they recently released a post from the general manager, Colin Bright, saying he wanted to thank all the 500-plus fans who came out to the Yellow Breeches Sports Center for their debut show, how he was overwhelmed with the support. In the Empire, the fans will always come first. He said that the announcement for their second show will be coming up very soon. And they kind of opened it up to the fans. Who do you want to see appear and compete in a PWE ring? Lots of really, really good comments. I had no time to read them all. Probably over 25 comments posted there. Check them out. It's Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Empire PA. It's Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Empire PA.
All right, let's get into Raw Monday. Of course, the show kicking off from Manchester, England. Triple H came out talking about, of course, the injury to Seth Rollins and the tournament. This tournament that is going to take place. A 16-man tournament, and they would begin with matches. They laid out the card. Roman Reigns interrupted him. They had an interaction. Triple H kind of offered him like the keys to the city. Just be our guy. Be the authorities guy. He turns it down. He ends up taking on the Big Show in the first round. Looking at the matches in the first round of this tournament, 16 men. Roman Reigns versus the Big Show. Cesaro, Sheamus, Del Rio, Stardust, Kalisto, Ryback, Titus O'Neil versus Kevin Owens, Neville versus Barrett, Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz, and Ambrose took on Tyler Breeze. So there's quite a few names on there that surprised me. Kalisto surprised me. Stardust kind of surprised me. He was on there. Titus O'Neil, and really I was surprised they put Tyler Breeze in there. His first ever main roster match in the tournament to determine the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. We'll kind of go over the matches then. But I thought it was a good opening segment. We were very clear on social media. In fact, that was one of the harder things, was staying off Twitter from 2 in the afternoon until 11 o'clock at night when Raw was over, because I didn't want to be spoiled. I didn't want to, I didn't want anything to, to spoil the show for me. I thought it was a strong open. I mean, you opened up the first match.
You mean Raw doesn't spoil the show for you either way?
What's that?
That's just what Raw does. It spoils the show.
Oh, are you getting sour
That's
already?
Raw. I am.
Don't be sour, Ryan.
Oh, shut up, Big E. Here's the deal. I have yet to see a European show that I was like, I'm glad I stayed off Twitter for 8 hours and stood up and watched 3 hours of a taped show. It's essentially a SmackDown.
I disagree.
Okay, remove the Survivor Series tournament. That's the only intriguing thing about it.
Typically, it's more in the light of SmackDown. This one didn't feel that way because, it wasn't their choice.
Right, they didn't have a choice.
But the matches were
ideally
good matches, quality matches, meaningful matches.
Well, it has to be meaningful matches.
Right.
You're now
but
a week and a half away from, or 2 weeks, I guess, at the time, of having to crown a new champion because of an injury. You have to put on a meaningful show.
Well,
so
right.
Have a choice.
So this one wasn't like a SmackDown. Did you literally come away from this Raw thinking, I just watched a SmackDown?
No, I came off of the Raw thinking, is this what we're gonna talk about the tournament?
Primarily, yeah.
That, okay, obviously Roman Reigns is beating the Big Show. Obviously Sheamus is going to lose to Cesaro because he has the briefcase. Obviously Kevin Owens is going to beat Titus O'Neil. Obviously Dolph Ziggler is going to beat The Miz. And obviously Dean Ambrose is going to beat Tyler Breeze, who shouldn't have even been in that spot in the first place, in my opinion. So there was no surprises to the matches, much like a SmackDown show. That's where my issue was. Now the actual SmackDown show this week gave me some freaking surprises. So I had my math all wrong, but there wasn't any meaningful. I don't know. I don't know. I really, here's the deal. Unless Cesaro beats Roman Reigns, I'm gonna be sour about this because they don't deserve to just hand the belt to Roman Reigns going through this tournament. I'm sorry, it's just not the time. Again, let him win it on its own. It will mean so much more. I don't want to hear the people bitching on Twitter that Roman Reigns was gifted this tournament, which sounds stupid in and of itself, and I understand that. But you know what I mean?
No, I understand what you're saying.
Plus, he's going to have to beat Cesaro. We don't even get Cesaro.
And it sucks that he's not even going to make it to Survivor Series in the tournament. We talked about last week that this isn't the way for Roman Reigns to win his title. Now that we've had a chance to kind of digest and see what's going to happen here. I'm curious to see if there's a heel turn at the end, or anything like that. And if there is, then it may be okay. It all comes down to execution. If they just go through, he beats Cesaro, Del Rio beats Kalisto, Roman beats Del Rio, then you go to the other side. You have Owens and Neville taking, in the second round. Owens beats him, and Ambrose beats Ziggler, and then Ambrose goes over Kevin Owens, and you have Roman Reigns taking on Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns gets the win.
So, Jim, how do you see the Survivor Series tournament breaking down?
Well, hold on. But well, no, I'm saying if that's what they do.
No, but here's the deal. Like,
I'm saying
common
if that's
sense
what they
would
do.
say that. Like, I'm right with you saying that's probably how it could shake out.
Right. I'm saying if that's what they do and there's not a heel turn,
that is
then
Vince
I'm going
McMahon,
to be upset.
Kevin Dunn booking right there. What you just
then
said.
Then I'm going to be with you and I'm going to be upset.
Okay.
But if Roman turns on Dean, if somehow Owens ends up in the finals and wins the damn thing, then I'll just completely lose my mind. If it's Owens Cesaro in the finals, they've already won no matter who wins the final match. And I don't expect that to happen. I just at this point, the matches were good. Sans Roman Reigns versus the Big Show, but you're dealing with the Big Show. But beyond that, I thought the matches were good. We don't get to see SmackDown because it's on while we're recording this. The surprise there, of course, Kalisto going over Ryback.
I'm surprised Neville beat King Barrett.
I'm not, because it sets up a heel versus a face in the second round.
Sure. They're both of English descent.
Sure.
So it's not like Neville got the rub because they were in the UK.
Right.
Kalisto over Ryback, though, I wish I would have been able to catch that match, or at least I can read about how it happened because I am curious to know.
Yeah, I'm curious to know about it. But yeah, I'm going to reserve judgment until we see how it plays out, because I think there is potential for something big to happen, even if you have Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose in the finals. You have the opportunity there for the Authority to anoint somebody. And I think even at that point, people would assume that it would probably be Ambrose, that Ambrose would probably be the guy. But you have the opportunity here for Roman Reigns to be that guy, to finally on that last night, or let's say Ambrose wins it and then Roman Reigns says to Triple H, I think I'll cash in on that offer that you gave me a couple weeks ago, and they just end up screwing over Ambrose. And Roman Reigns is the face of the Authority. So there is potential there. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I do want to see how it plays out.
Jim, you're a better man than I am, because I feel like I have given the WWE and Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn plenty of opportunities to prove me wrong. And I just feel like time and time again, I just get let down. The last surprise that I really was excited for was the Seth Rollins cash-in at WrestleMania. And everything else has pretty much been par for the course between WrestleMania and today.
You weren't excited for the Dudley Boys?
Sure, I was excited. It was a great secret. But storyline-wise, did that really play into any story? It brought the Dudley Boys back. Until the WWE can prove to me that they are competent in booking something like this, I have a hard time assuming they're going to do it, right or close to being right.
We'll see.
Here's the deal: they're not going to shock any of us and put Kalisto in the finals or anything like that. I get that. I'd be shocked if Kevin Owens makes the finals.
I'm the eternal optimist with this stuff. I mean, I'm always
How does
the
it
one.
usually work out for you?
Not well, but it's fun. I'd rather be the guy that's like, well, maybe this will happen, and sure, it might screw me in the end, but then I turn on Raw the next night and I look forward to that again. I fantasy book in my head and think maybe they could do it this way. I'm the eternal optimist about a lot of this.
All right, well, the way you broke it down earlier, like I said, that was very Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, having Roman Reigns versus Dean Ambrose in the finals. Is that how you see it playing out?
Knowing the WWE, yes.
I'm not saying fantasy book. I'm like,
no, that's how it's going to be.
Is that how it's going to be?
That's how it's going to be.
Okay.
And more likely than not, it's going to be Roman just going over clean and being handed the tournament, and we're all gonna be pissy and moany about it.
Do you have a problem with both undercard titles, Intercontinental and Del Rio with the United States, advancing to the second round of this tournament?
No.
And potentially the semifinals?
No.
Because I would think Del Rio is going to beat Kalisto, and there's a good chance Kevin Owens is going to beat Neville. Now, Neville might squeak out a win here, which could buck the trend, but I'm pretty sure Del Rio is going to be in the semifinals of this tournament, and then ultimately lose to either Cesaro or Roman Reigns.
Not that it would ever happen, Ryan, but I would have no problem if the final match of this tournament is Intercontinental Champion Kevin Owens versus United States Champion Alberto Del Rio, because then all that shows is that the two guys carrying the undercard titles, the mid-card titles, however you want to label them, all that shows you is that those are the two best guys in the company, or the two best guys in this tournament. So it doesn't, in fact, I think it's smart of the WWE to have these guys go to the semifinals. I think Owens and Del Rio should both win in the second round. These guys should both be in the semifinals. Because, if your Intercontinental Champion can't beat Neville, and your U.S. Champion can't beat Kalisto, a guy who's a tag team specialist, that's how we know him, then what does that say about those titles?
Sure, good point.
You
got a point, right? If they're in there, they got to win.
If my brain is booking them in this, they go to the finals.
All right.
That's me.
So that's how you would book this: Kevin Owens, Del Rio, in the finals at Survivor Series.
Sure.
Who comes out on top?
Kevin Owens.
Now, were you just saying that because you don't want us to harass you for the next 3.5 days of how much you hate Kevin Owens?
It's hard.
Or is it because
Del
you put
Rio,
your Kevin Owens shirt on today?
I do have my Kevin Owens
he
shirt
sure
on.
does.
My Fight Owens Fight. It's a hard call because on one hand you have Del Rio, has the history, has the experience in these type of matches, but Kevin Owens went toe to toe with John Cena.
Was Del Rio a WWE champion, or was he the world champion?
Both.
Was he both? Okay.
He's had both.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Matt, can you? No, Matt can't fact check us tonight.
Damn it, Matt.
Damn it, Matt. Damn it, technology. I believe Del Rio's had both, but
I'll take a look. You keep talking.
Yeah, take a look. So Del Rio's had history. Owens is younger. I mean, but I think either way, if you have both of these guys in the final match and they both put on a good match, a great match, then I think everybody wins. The U.S. title wins. The Intercontinental Championship wins. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship wins. So if I'm sitting there booking it, that's how I play it out. Because then you not only have a new champion that in my mind is believable, but you also have now these undercard titles that mean more because of it. Because those guys holding those belts just went through 14 other guys to get to each other and then had the finals of the tournament. That's how Ryan. How would you book this?
I will say that I don't know why we second guessed ourselves. Del Rio is a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion, a 2-time WWE Champion, and this is his first reign for the United States Championship. Del Rio cashed in his Money in the Bank contract to defeat CM Punk at SummerSlam, just after Punk became the undisputed WWE Champion. And then Del Rio dropped the title to John Cena and then picked it up at Hell in a Cell in 2011 in the triple threat match against John Cena and CM Punk. So 2-time WWE champion. Jim, you have a good question there. I don't know necessarily how I would book it. I guess let me just go round by round. I would have Del Rio beating Kalisto. I would love to see Cesaro beat Roman Reigns, but what that would do to Roman Reigns is disastrous. So there's no chance in hell that happens. So we have Del Rio versus Roman Reigns. Again, I just have to have Roman Reigns going to the finals. Kevin Owens over Neville. I would have Dean Ambrose over Dolph Ziggler. Kevin Owens over Dean Ambrose. So I'd have Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens is the way I would like to see it play out. And you've heard some interviews with Kevin Owens about, holding both the Intercontinental Champion and the WWE Championship. I think Renee Young was talking to him, I think, backstage about it too. So they've played with the idea a little bit. I'd like to see it happen. It doesn't have to be long. Honestly, I could see whoever wins this ending up in a cash-in anyway and it going to Sheamus. So that's my ultimate
goal. I still don't
goal.
understand why Sheamus didn't just cash in.
Right. Oh,
Like,
you don't have it here.
why Sheamus
Right.
at the beginning of Raw this past Monday didn't just walk down and was like, "Here, let me take that from you."
I guess it's a match.
Tournament
it's a contract
over.
match, correct? The Money in the Bank contract. For a
Sure,
match.
but I mean,
You can't have a match with nobody.
oh, that's true.
Maybe that's the
That's true.
The way
I
out
don't
of it.
think out of all the people that I've heard talk about this, nobody's actually said that. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look up the actual.
I'll take a look at it real quick.
Yeah, the actual rule. But yeah,
I mean, again, and we're talking about the an actual rule in professional wrestling.
right. I mean that can change, can change all the time. The rules can always change. But
The
Ryan,
Money in the Bank pay-per-view centers around a ladder match.
Mhm.
The prize of which is a briefcase containing a contract for a championship match. The winner of the contract can cash in the contract at any time and place of their choosing, any time within the next year, beginning the night that they win the briefcase for a championship match.
There it is.
So it is not a champion. It is for a match.
So it is a match. Ryan, the only other thing from Raw that I really want to cover is you had Bray Wyatt and Bray Wyatt came out by himself. First off, Bray Wyatt should deliver every promo in front of the UK crowd because they ate it up. They didn't what him once.
Thank God.
Which
there's one thing
not
bad-
to be picky, but like the pauses in Bray Wyatt, like it wasn't like Stone Cold paused for what? Bray Wyatt pauses for effect.
Sure does.
Like they weren't even like you're not whatting correctly. But that's me being too
You shouldn't
persnickety
even
about
what
it.
Bray Wyatt.
You should never what Bray Wyatt.
You should what Ava Marie. There's plenty of other people you should what.
I can do what to Ava Marie?
You just have to say what.
Is that all I can do to Ava? Okay.
That is. I don't even think she knows who Stone Cold Steve Austin is.
She might not.
She might not. Cameron knows who Stone Cold Steve Austin is.
I wish I had that clip on.
Oh my God! I wish we did. That would have been great.
But he comes out to eulogize Kane and the Undertaker because, and over the course of the entire night, we've seen the Bray Wyatt, that face and sound that, and then these highlights of the Undertaker and Kane's career, and he came out to eulogize them. And he delivers one of the stronger promos he's delivered in a long time,
which says something because he's pretty solid all the time.
And he's been on point recently with this stuff. He drops the mic, drops to his knees, follow the buzzards, and then is interrupted by a video with highlights of Kane and the Undertaker. And then there was lightning and flames and all of this. Undertaker's music hits. Taker and Kane come out together. They make their way to the ring. The lights come up. The fans are going crazy. The Wyatt family graphic pops up. Lights go out. They come back. And the entire Wyatt family's there. So you have 4-on-2. You have the Wyatt family and the Brothers of Destruction. The Brothers of Destruction then proceed to clean house. There's multiple problems I have with this segment. First off, what was the point of Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family carrying off the Undertaker and Kane the way they did, and seizing their powers?
That's right, he did that.
With the lightning and the thunder and the fire. He has their power for them just to escape. And then you're 4-on-2, and I understand that they're the objects that can't be killed. I get it. But they clean house, and they end up they're standing over Bray Wyatt, which Bray Wyatt should have been out. He should have just been the mastermind. Leave his guys to be cleaned out.
Sure,
they clean out all of them.
When are they going to book the Wyatt family right? Like, that's how it should be.
I don't know.
Bray Wyatt should never be touched unless he's actually in a match.
Yeah,
like you have 3 of some of the biggest wrestlers I've seen on your roster. The Undertaker and Kane destroying Strowman.
No, I mean, it did take both of them to get Braun Strowman down, which I like that
fine.
It took both of them.
But them destroying those 3 and not touching Wyatt, they're still strong as hell, but Wyatt remains strong as well.
But it's just every time I feel like the WWE has taken a step forward with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, they take
back.
like 3 bigger steps backwards.
Sure.
Because so now you have Bray Wyatt seemingly taking control of the Undertaker and Kane for a week later for that just to... I mean, what was it? Did they leave the key in the cell lock? I mean, like...
He carried their limp bodies out.
Yeah. And then controlled their powers. The power to do whatever, and it just gone.
The power to set off pyrotechnics in various arenas.
And now we find out from the SmackDown that, because we figured it is, it looks like it's going to be the 4-on-2 match. Nope, just a tag match. Brothers of Destruction versus 2 members of the Wyatt family to be determined. The only way this is even mildly okay, Ryan, is if it's like a ploy. And it ends up being 4-on-2, or if there's some sort of return. If he brings back Midian and Gangrel to be part of the.
Oh, because that'll make it worth it. Nobody even knows where Viscera's dead, dude.
Yeah, but
he did.
He did. Maybe the fake Undertaker and the fake Kane. Was there a fake Kane? I'm sure there's a fake Kane at some point.
Is there a fake Kane?
Oh, it was the Undertaker. That's right.
Isaac Yankem.
But man, like I'm just, and I'm gonna try and be the optimist here.
Better you than me, brother.
I'm gonna try to be the optimist here. We just got done talking about me being the optimist, and say like maybe they can still make this okay, but we've just seen them time after time after time after time screw up with Bray Wyatt.
Get this wrong, right?
Like, just don't do it again. Don't do this to me again. The Undertaker is going to be at Raw on Monday. They announced, or it's been announced.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Which he should be. It's a go home Raw,
right?
He's seemingly in a big feud. I mean, there's been two matches announced. I mean, of course, you have some of the tournament that's going to take place, but
right.
Overall, for a UK Raw, I really came out of this one feeling okay. I liked the matches. I mean, we didn't talk about it, but I like what they did with the Divas. Overall, I thought it was a good show.
Talk about the Divas. Go ahead. I mean, I've already said I didn't care for the show necessarily. It didn't do anything great for me.
Why? Now I got to scroll back and find it. Naomi versus Natalya. I wasn't a huge fan of that match, but Paige versus Becky.
But let's talk. At least we're getting Natalya in matches.
Natalya's getting
and
in
matches. That's a step in the right direction for the Divas division.
You had Paige versus Becky Lynch. There were two. The Paige versus Becky Lynch match was a lot better. But it's good to see some different divas, different women on the show, getting used on the show. I mean, I did feel pretty good about it. Now I didn't pull up the actual numbers, but I saw ratings were down a little more, which again, Monday Night Football, it's a UK Raw, so a lot of people I know even Matt did. He read the spoilers and do something else on a Monday night. I get it. For me, it's just in my routine. I'm a creature of habit. I'm a creature of routine. Monday night's wrestling night. I'm still going to watch wrestling. I'm going to avoid the spoilers, but I think the UK Raws they dip all the time. So if you're normally running at what has been like about 3 million, you're going to dip under that. You're going to dip under what you've been normally getting because people are going to read the spoilers.
You're absolutely right. And whatever with the spoilers, it is what it is. It was an okay show, Jim. I mean, that's me being as nice as I can about it. It's tough with football. I'm a numbers guy. Like, the ratings means still something to me that, they're struggling to pull in some numbers. Is it as bad as anybody's making it out to be? Absolutely not. It was okay. Like I said, good things. We saw Natty in a match. Step in the right direction. So there's stuff we can build off of heading out of this Raw. Hated the fact that Breeze is in the tournament and had to lose.
I didn't hate that he was in the tournament. I think it's a good vote of confidence for him that that he can step in and do that. The thing I didn't like is that he lost in a small package.
Well, true. Yeah.
Like, I mean, at least if you're going to put him on a match, at least have him lose to a finisher.
Right. I agree.
And I guess the whole idea is you get caught by surprise, but I don't like it.
Any given Monday, huh?
Any given Monday. Ryan, I know you posted something to Facebook about, do people want to see Sting versus The Undertaker? I utilized another one of these Twitter polls.
Love the Twitter polls.
I love the Twitter polls, man. We had 32 votes on this one, which was more, and I think we had 20 in the one last week. So good to see a little more interaction out of it. I said, is Undertaker versus Sting a match you'd still want to see? 37% of the people, Ryan, said no. 63% said yes.
What?
63% of the people who voted in this. Now, again, like I said, 32 people. But
still 2/3 of our small
2/3, yeah. I mean that's 20. That's 22 basically. That's about 22 of the 32 that said yes. They still want to see The Undertaker versus Sting. Now, the people that replied to the tweet, for the most part,
Said no.
At B_Rot36 said nope, just straight up nope. At Susie Alto said not at all. At Tats Heel said from a nostalgia standpoint, yes. I don't expect it to be a classic though.
Okay, legit.
And at Brandon Mac NAI said only in the video games. So, which I actually like that answer a lot. I voted no. I voted from my personal account and then retweeted.
Also, I think voted no.
I said no because here's the thing: will the build-up be fantastic? Absolutely. Will the video packages be great? Absolutely. If it's this year at AT&T Stadium, if they book it towards the end of the card, it'll be nighttime. That stadium will be 100,000 people. The Undertaker's music, Sting's music. You have that environment. Will the entrances be awesome? Yes.
Sure would be.
But to me, that's where the fun ends. And I'm not talking down to the Undertaker, who, by the way, was fantastic on the Jimmy Fallon.
That was really
show.
cool to see. Sure was.
We can talk about that in a second.
Okay, so here's the deal. Someone, let me read here off the Facebook page, facebook.com/3CountThursday. Larry Peace, who joined us on the show a couple weeks ago, said only if it's a casket or a buried alive match. So maybe throw a gimmick in there. Sure. You had said no. Josh had agreed with you, said he would have loved to see this match 10 years ago, but now he just doesn't think they would be able to put on a match that could even live up to half of what everybody would want to see. Manny says no. Rolando says hell yeah. And Andrew says can. Just can.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one.
So that's what, one
can.
2 yeses, 3 no's, and 1 can. For is this a match you still want to see?
I'm gonna say can is like a trash can, so that means no. You throw it away, put it in the can. He doesn't want to see it.
I also said, do you miss AJ Lee? And everybody seemed really happy except a guy named James. He says, at times, yes, but doesn't think she's necessary. I wasn't going for necessity. I was just going for her absolute gorgeousness and beauty. Do you miss AJ Lee? And just seeing her awesome face.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about wrestling, Ryan, there's more to women's wrestling.
Oh, I didn't say, do you miss watching AJ Lee wrestle? Do you miss AJ Lee?
Well, I gave my honest answer. At
times, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry to upset you.
That was really high pitched.
So here's the deal. Undertaker's going to have to wrestle somebody. I'm going to just keep putting these up here. I have downloaded a few other pictures. Maybe I'll make some myself.
Okay.
So stay tuned to the Facebook page, facebook.com/3CountThursday, Instagram. Nope, it's not on the Instagram. It's on the Twitter at 3CountThursday. Next week we're going to put up another picture, another poll asking you about Stone Cold Undertaker. And we'll go from there.
Wow, this thing's going downhill quick.
It's going down here. You know what? Let's just cut it, and we're going to restart from the beginning.
Yeah, we'll restart the whole damn thing. Yeah, I don't want to see it. I don't even know if Sting can wrestle at this point.
You got a point.
You know, he got hurt pretty bad, and we're not far removed from it. I'm not saying I don't want to see Sting in the ring, but I mean, he's got to think about his health, and yeah, I don't know, but yeah, we'll stay tuned. We'll stay tuned to the social media. We'll get some stuff up there, get some thoughts. Yeah, if you didn't see The Undertaker on the Jimmy Fallon show, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/3CountThursday, always the number, never the word 3. Check it out. It's a couple of minutes, but it's pretty cool. Like, I remember it was in the afternoon yesterday. I saw people saying The Undertaker is going to be on Jimmy Fallon. I thought, doing what? Like, there's no way they have him. There's no way they have Mark Calloway sitting on the interview set and, like, chatting it up with Jimmy Fallon. Like, there's no freaking way. And I'm like, there's no way they have The Undertaker on the Jimmy Fallon interview set and, like, conducting an interview. Like, he barely talks now on WWE. Like, and it was cool. It was cool what they did. It was cool to see him on there. Didn't say a word. Didn't have to. Scared the bejesus out of Jimmy Fallon. It was cool. It was cool. Check it out. We posted it up there this morning, I think, or last night.
Last night, yeah.
Last night. Yeah. So, check that out. Ryan, I'm going to leave it up to you. We got about an hour and a half on the show now. Do we want to talk about NXT?
Let's run a little bit about NXT. You don't have to go crazy about it.
Okay.
But we both caught it last night, right?
We both
or this
caught
morning,
it.
Whenever. Before we even get into it, I want to give a shout-out to Deonna Purrazzo, who
we just saw last month at LCW.
At LCW, wrestled a match against my computer just froze up.
She wrestled versus let me find it here.
Nia Jax. Nia Jax.
Nyla Rose interrupted her match at LCW.
It's been a long, long week, folks. I work retail. We're getting ready for Black Friday. I'm sorry. Just bear with me.
Deonna Purrazzo has also worked a Women of Honor match with Ring of Honor with Mandy Leon.
Correct.
So
I mean, it was pretty much a squash match.
She got squashed.
She got squashed.
But it's good to see her out there.
Sure is. Congratulations.
She is a fantastic worker. If you have a chance to see her, do it.
Do it.
Get to it. Ryan, the first match on this show. Wait, is that the actual name of their match number one? I think it was just a result. It was.
Well, the first match didn't happen. I believe the first match was supposed to be Baron Corbin versus Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
That
Apollo Crews
attacked, right?
Because of Corbin screwing Apollo Crews out of the title shot last week.
Jim, that's not true. Apollo Crews screwed Apollo Crews.
Okay, Vince McMahon. So yes, the first actual match then was Bayley, which if you listen to the announcers, her name is It's Bayley.
Now you put that out on the Twitter, and I have never heard them say it after the match.
Well, you weren't go back and watch.
It happened. I'm not arguing that because I noticed it this time.
Yeah, but it was the first time I noticed.
The guy, I forget what the other guy. He usually is like, "Your NXT Women's Champion, It's Bayley," like that. Like that's how he usually does it. And I've heard It's Bayley as she's being introduced,
right?
Which almost makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the end, it was like
before the match. It sounds okay.
Your winners of the match, the Hype Bros, and It's Bayley.
Yeah, that's what happened last night.
That doesn't work at the end. Like, introduce her as It's Bayley, kind of like the underdog. Oh, it's Bayley.
After the match, it was your winner, NXT Women's Champion, It's Bayley.
Right. And the Hype Bros.
Like
it's
I actually
I
had to rewind it. I rewound it at least 2 times, 3 times. Like, there's no way I just heard that because I watched it on my lunch today.
It did not.
I'm like, that's not right.
Sound right.
That's not right. But anyway, Bayley and the Hype Bros defeated the Blake and Murphy and Alexa Bliss.
You didn't seem too hot on this match from reading your tweets today.
Dude, the Hype Bros are so bad. The NXT universe, all in. They were all in
match.
On this one.
How great was that crowd last night? Like NXT usually pulls a really, really good crowd. I'm not going to say that.
They always pull a great crowd.
That crowd was hot.
The crowd for that match was rivaled almost any NXT match we've seen.
Right.
Like, it was nuts.
For the Hype Bros.
For the Hype Bros and Bayley versus Blake and Murphy.
They interacted with every aspect of that match. With the Bayley,
I thought the roof was going to blow off when she gave the Bayley to belly to, was it Blake or Murphy?
I don't know which one's which.
The
redhead guy.
Yeah, the blonde guy with the funny tights.
No, they did it to the redhead, I thought.
Was it?
The Bayley to belly was to the redhead. I think that's Murphy. I think Blake has the blonde hair.
She gave it to Murphy. Bayley with a Bayley to belly.
That's what I said, right? With Murphy.
With Murphy, yes.
Blake has the blonde.
And then ran back because Alexa Bliss had stolen the women's title.
Right. Man, just go on. If you don't have the network, go onto Facebook, check out the NXT page.
If you don't
they
have the
little
network,
clips. You're
why?
stupid. I'm sorry.
Why?
I hate to
You're
be
dumb.
that way. You're dumb.
Get the network,
Right.
for God's sakes. Just
You want to give me a credit card? Go to Walmart, buy the damn 3-month card. I hate to be that way. Ask for it for Christmas. I don't care what you have to do.
sign up for a free freaking month and
Right.
then ask for the 3-month card for Christmas.
Right.
There, you just got 4 months of the WWE network for
have it.
nothing.
Jim
Get it.
figured it out for you. Get it. Awesome match.
Yeah, a very good match. We talked about the squash match.
She squashed her.
New NXT tag team champions
It happened.
Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson defeat the Vaudevillains.
No, is this where you said about the name?
What I say about the name?
They said something about a name. Never mind.
I don't remember what I said about the name or a name. Dash Wilder, Scott Dawson, the new tag team champions of NXT. Or as defeating the Vaudevillains, or as Taz on his show calls them, the Vaudevillians.
The Vaudevillians.
Like, and he doesn't, like, it bothers the hell out of me. And I actually tweeted at him once. He's very interactive on Twitter. First off, great radio show. It's a daily show now, primarily wrestling. 2 hours, primarily wrestling. He mixes in sports and other stuff, but is a primarily wrestling show on a daily basis. The Taz show. But he calls them the Vaudevillians, and I'm not the only one. Apparently, everybody's like, why do you call them that? And he goes, to me, it's the same thing. I'm like, no, they're the Vaudevillains. Like, it's a vaudeville style, but they're Vaudevillains. Like, Vaudevillians just means that they're people from vaudeville.
Correct.
Like,
Maybe they should be the Vaudevillians with their face.
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll tweet that at Taz and be like, here, this is what we talked about.
There you go.
There you go, Taz.
That seems like a better answer.
It
Well,
does
that's just
seem
what
like
I
a
call
better
'em.
answer. Like when they're villains, they're the
They should be the
Vaudevillains.
Vaudevillains when they're heels.
When they're babyface, they're the Vaudevillians.
Sure.
Nice. It's sad to see the Vaudevillains drop the title, though. I like them.
They didn't do a whole lot.
It didn't do a whole lot. Ryan, I actually kind of saw some people discussing this today. Is this the last time we see them with titles at all in the WWE? Like, I know we've talked about how we don't know if they'll fit on the main roster. Like, is this something that I don't know? I don't know. I mean, how long can this team go?
Hopefully not, because I do like them. I don't think they fit on a main roster. I don't think they would have much success as solo wrestlers. Can you even pull them up on the main roster if the Ascension doesn't work on the main roster? How well is the Vaudevillains going to work on the main roster? I don't know. It's a good question, Jim. Only time will tell, but I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see them with tag team gold again.
Yeah, and
Unfortunately.
I don't know if they have to split up or what, but that I'm not sure. And then you had Samoa Joe, basically saying that it was Finn Balor's fault that he did what he did and attacking him last week, because part of the agreement to them being tag team partners in the Dusty Rhodes Classic was that Samoa Joe would get a title shot, and then after they won the tournament, he put them in the Battle Royal, and Joe says he's entitled to an NXT title match. Like, he got there and was entitled to the match. And Joe was about to say he didn't put action behind his words, but Balor came out. Officials got between them, and then Joe, like a typical just wrestling punk ass, just pushes a referee into him, ends up attacking Finn Balor, and Joe is standing over Finn Balor holding the NXT title as the show came to an end. So we're really finally getting a character development out of Samoa Joe. and getting this feud that we all kind of saw coming, but we weren't sure how they were going to do it. I'm a fan of what's going on here with these two guys.
Yeah. Finally, we're getting a little bit with Samoa Joe. We're featuring him a little bit more. I'm assuming all of the indie dates are now squared away. That all that's in the past now for him right now. I've seen better like brawls, with people in the ring, pulled apart brawls, whatever you want to call them. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen here. I'd be shocked, and maybe this is just me, but I don't think Finn Balor. Drops the title to Samoa Joe. I don't think Samoa Joe needs to hold an NXT title to move up to a main roster and mean something on the main roster. If that's the end game, him getting up to the main roster, I don't think he has to hold NXT gold to do that. So we'll see where this one goes. I guess the next special event is the beginning of December,
and that's the one in the UK, correct?
In the UK, that is correct.
All right, yeah. So I mean that you have to look forward to. There's a lot of cool stuff coming. I mean, it looks like Alexa Bliss is getting involved in the women's title division. Did
you see the backstage segment they had with Alexa Bliss? Real quick, and this is me being nitpicky again about the show. Alexa Bliss was backstage after she stole the gold.
Mm-hmm.
Bayley came back and confronted her, and she ran away, and then Nia Jax was there at the end of it. You know the segment I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It just seemed really amateurish.
It did.
And it clearly, this was a developmental backstage spot. Everything about it, they were taking... she's posing with the belt that she just stole, getting her picture taken from a photographer in front of soda machines.
Right.
The whole thing just seemed why would you do that?
Right. No, I feel you. And it seemed, you remember the SummerSlam 90?
Yep.
When Virgil and Ted DiBiase and Sapphire are getting in the limo,
and then
you see Dusty Rhodes' feet, and you hear go, go, go.
Right. And then the limo squeals away.
To me, that's what that segment last night felt like.
Good call. Yep. It was just amateurish.
Yeah. It sucks because you see some of these spectacular moments with NXT, but in a weird way, Ryan, I almost like to see those moments. I mean, it kind of takes away from the show a little. And if it happened on one of their special events, I think I would be more upset. But it's a reminder that it's developmental, and it's a reminder that they're not quite polished enough to be up on Raw yet.
Okay.
And that's okay.
All right.
But to me, if it happens all the time every week, then I'm going to throw a flag. But every here and there, if you have a segment that looks, you and I have gone to Hershey Bears games. You and I have gone to Reading Phillies games. We have...
Right, minor leaguers make mistakes.
Right, we have seen spectacular moments. But then in the same time, we've seen sloppy moments that you don't see in Major League Baseball or in the NHL.
Correct.
So,
I mean, didn't the Lancaster Barnstormers win a really significant game on a wild pitch while they were intentionally walking a guy?
Yeah, I think that was in one of their playoff series or something.
Right, runner second and third, they're intentionally walking the guy to first. The pitcher throws a wild, intentional pitch, and the game walks off on an intentional walk, wild pitch scenario. It blew my mind, but something you would never see in Major League sports happen like that.
Right.
So, yeah, you make a good point. All right, I accept that.
Okay. But it was a good show. I mean, NXT gets more things right than they ever get wrong.
They do. And again, I'm being nitpicky when I say things like that.
That's okay. That's what we do here.
That's what we do. You're right.
Ryan, anything else? Anything else?
That's really all I got, man. For a recorded show, we definitely had a lot to cover. So, yeah, that's all I got, brother.
All right, very good, man. let them know social media stuff, and then we're going to close this thing up.
You've got it. You can find us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/3CountThursday. Twitter and Instagram is always at 3Count Thursday. Folks, we're talking about the number 3 Count Thursday, much like the great WCW faction, 3 Count, 3 Count Thursday. This week, again, we are Luscious Latasha was our Woman of the Week. We will be rescheduling that interview. Stay with our social medias for the new time, date, when you can actually watch and listen to that. Or, sorry, listen to that interview. Jim, what am I missing? I think that's it, right?
I think that's it.
I think I covered them all.
All right.
You know where to find us.
You know where to find us, ngscsports.com, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and the TuneIn Radio app. Search NGSC. Go to our show page directly at ngscsports.com/3-count-Thursday. You can podcast the show directly by searching 3 Count Thursday in your podcast store. Again, Twitter and Instagram at 3 Count Thursday, Facebook.com/3 Count Thursday. Email the show if you want to, 3countthursday@gmail.com. Check us out. Make sure you check out, again, Mid-Penn Wrestling Alliance on Facebook and MidPennWrestlingAlliance.com for all the information about the Hall of Fame inductions. LCW-pro.com. Get your tickets for the show coming up there. A lot of great wrestling in the area, folks. But we tweet out and we post a lot about it. It's gonna be a busy time between all the wrestling stuff we have and the holidays. Is gonna get crazy, and then we're doing a trip down to New Jersey to do an awesome guest spot on the PBR podcast. Again, at PBR Pod on Twitter, PBRpodcast.com. So tons of stuff in the pipeline, and it's not slowing down for us. We anticipate 2016 being even bigger than 2015. So have a great week, folks. Enjoy it and have some fun. Stay safe, though. And as always, go for the pin.